There's so much noise out there when it comes to outreach, especially with all the new AI tools and growth hacks that claim to help you reach thousands of leads in a second. The problem I see with these strategies is that they're all about give me the money and very little about connecting one-to-one and building trust. In this video, I will share why authentic outreach is essential and faster than waiting for clients to come to you, a simple 5-part structure for crafting effective, genuine outreach messages, the value of offering a free strategy call and how it benefits both you and your prospect, key mindsets to approach outreach, and how to use A/B testing to refine your outreach. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Adrian Somoza and I help freelance web designers not only improve their design skills but also grow their businesses. Remember that I have a mentorship program called the BONT Club for higher level guidance on these topics so that you can accelerate your process in scaling your freelance web design business to a financially peaceful and a creatively challenging one. Link below to apply. Now, let me preface the video by saying that there's 8 billion people in the world. You just need one of them that trusts you, needs your services, and is willing to pay you to help them. Now let's talk about why outreach is essential. First off, it's faster than waiting for clients to come to you. Basically, you are taking the proactive step, getting out there and connecting with clients who might need your services and offering your help. By doing this, you're also positioning yourself as a leader that takes the first step. Second of all, good outreach creates human, authentic conversations with real prospects, not just, random pitches hoping for a $10,000 client. That's why most freelancers depend on word of mouth to get new clients. Relationships lead to revenue. People who come referred from a past client or someone that you know will trust you more because there's a connection, and so there's a foundational trust. And that's easier for you to sell to them than to sell to a stranger. So by outreaching, you're creating that trust if you do it right so that you can then sell to them. If people don't trust you, they won't sell. If you don't have a relationship with them, if they don't know you and you're a complete stranger, they won't buy from you. So you need to build trust, and outreach can help you do that. Number 3, to create content that attracts high-ticket clients, you first need full clarity on 4 things. Number 1, who is your ideal client? You cannot address everyone in the market because you're just gonna be lost. So who is your ideal client? Number 2, why they would hire you. You need to understand what are the reasons why people hire you so that you understand what's the value that you're providing. Number 3, what they need. So what specifically do they need apart from a website, right? Because the website is the obvious thing, but that's always a means to an end. So what is it that they actually need from the website, and what are their ultimate goals? If you want to learn more about that, check out this video. And number 4, when are they ready to invest? So it's not the same to outreach and connect one-to-one with people who are just starting out a business and they don't have any budget to invest in a website than to outreach to people that have had 3 years in the business. They have seen some success and now they're ready to scale via a website. For just to give you one example. So it's very important to understand when are they ready to invest, what's the point in their journey where investing in a high-ticket website makes more sense for them, so that you don't just randomly connect with everyone in a specific niche only to realize that 80% of those people just don't need your services yet. So without clarity on these 4 things, your content will be so broad that it will just be a drop in the middle of the ocean that no one will ever notice. I'll be sharing a strategy to help you avoid that using outreach. But first, let's take a look at the message formula with a 5-part structure. First off, let's take a look at an example and then we're gonna dissect it to see what are the 5 parts that the message has. Hey John, hope you're doing well. You're the owner of the Hotel Atlántico Bucios, right? I also noticed you have a website for the hotel. Would you be interested in a free web design consultation call? I'm Adrian Somoza, I specialize in web design, and I'm currently offering free 30-minute consultation calls to a selection of hotel owners to diagnose how their website is working for them and what could be improved. This in turn helps me as research for my web design business to better understand this industry more deeply. So we would basically get to know each other a bit and exchange insights. I'll happily share some strategic takeaways for you to think or implement and answer any questions you might have. Are you up? So first off, introduction. Keep it brief and personalize it. So basically try to do a little bit of research to understand just a little bit about this business. You don't have to know a lot about them, but at least show them that you're interested in them in particular, right? So show a little bit of interest and help them understand you're not doing this in a huge scale. Number two, add value. So highlight what's in it for them honestly and transparently. Explain how you can add value to them. So it's really important that you understand that this has to be after the introduction, not at the end. You don't have to talk about yourself at the beginning. You don't have to mention, about your goals and what you want to do for yourself, right? Focus on what others want, because most people are interested in what they want, right? And they don't care about what you want unless it can help them. So make sure that you start your message by talking about what they might want and how you could help them get it. So in this case, what my favorite thing to do is to offer a free consultation call. It just takes 30 minutes of your time, and I'm going to talk more about the benefits of that. But there's a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I recommend that you take a look at that book if you want to understand a little bit deeper why the second part of the structure is basically talking about them and not you. So third, right, you introduced yourself with something personalized. You started by adding value or offering value to the client first. Now you can clarify your agenda. So this means stating your goal clearly, because people are going to ask themselves like, what's in it for you, right? If you're helping me for free, what's in it for you? And if you clarify that it's going to help you as research, right, for example, in this case, then that's going to help them be more at ease and say like, okay, this is a transaction, right, of time, but he's going to help me, which is great, but then I'm going to help him as well. So it's not like I'm going to leave that conversation owing him something. You know what I mean? Number four is restate value. This is optional, but I do like to stress out that there's value for the client and that my main focus is helping them. So that's why I would restate the value offer. And number five is a short, friendly CTA. So use a non-pushy call to action. That's very easy for them to say yes without feeling pressured. And the goal is a conversation, not a transaction. So you're not just checking the box and sending messages and saying, oh, how many responded, right? It's not just that. It's more about the conversation. So now let's talk about the value proposition, right? So when we covered that when you outreach, you want to always add value. Now, in terms of the value proposition that you offer, my preferred option is a free strategy call. There's a lot of options out there. You could do a hero for each like a hero of the website for each person you outreach. Is going to take a lot of time. You could do, a web design review, right? But the problem with this tactics where you just do something for them up front is that you're assuming what they might need without really knowing, without diagnosing. That doesn't make you look like an expert necessarily. So, if you just have a link in, or you're reaching out via LinkedIn and you have a link to your work there, or you have work posted in LinkedIn, then people are going to check out your profile and they're going to see your work. So you don't need to send them something that is personalized to them before even knowing anything about them. So, and even knowing if they really need a website or if they are thinking of doing one. So to me, the best value proposition is just jumping on a call with a prospect. That's the best way to sell. And here's a list of benefits for you and your prospects and how to transition from a call like this to a sales call. You can frame this as a free strategy call or free consultation call, by the way. So there's 3 benefits for you. Number 1 is that you're building trust because you're connecting one-to-one, having a genuine connection and conversation with someone, and that's gonna immediately set you apart from the crowd of web designers out there. Number 2 is you're gonna gather insights. So you're gonna be asking questions to identify needs, pain points, and goals. And then you will be able, with this strategy, to refine your content strategy and tailor make it to this particular type of clients with those sets of needs, with those sets of pain points and goals. So you're gonna be able to create content that resonates with this type of clients and actually makes them take action and book calls with you and be interested in hiring you. If you're just offering generic web design services to everyone, again, it's going to be a drop in the middle of the ocean who nobody will notice. And lastly, you're going to be able to assess fit. So by jumping on a call with them, you're just connecting one-to-one and firsthand if this would be a good person to work with. Of course, you might not realize and it wasn't a good person to work with, but overall, if there's something weird about this person, something that is off and that you don't like about this person, you're gonna be able to notice firsthand on the call. So that's really valuable for you to just be able to assess if there's a fit, not only in terms of whether it's the right time, if what they need is what you can offer them, etc., but also if there's a good connection between you guys so that you can work together and have a good work relationship, let's say. Now, there's also 2 benefits for your prospect. Number 1, they will get clarity. Now, most people, when they pay for a consultation, right, when they pay $500, $1,000, $5,000 for a 1-hour call with an expert, what they are paying for is clarity. They want to really untangle the thoughts in their heads and put them in words so that they can understand them and have an objective view about them. And that's super, super valuable. So by asking them questions and being that expert for them, where you can ask them questions, go deeper into their ultimate goals and their ultimate pain points, right? And help them understand how much this is affecting them and their business. And the second benefit for your prospects is getting tailored guidance. Again, you're an expert in what you do. They have no idea about this topic of web design. They have no idea what's the best approach to building a website, where should they build it, how much should they pay, right? Like they will have 1,000 questions. Think about when the last time, for example, for me, accountants in accounting in general, right, the taxes and all that stuff, to me is like Chinese, right? For me, it's very difficult to understand. So if I had an accountant or someone that would reach out to help me, to offer a free consultation, I would probably jump. If I've been thinking about like, oh, I would really need to hire someone, right? I would just jump on the call. It's a free call. I can talk with them and I can just, ask them questions and see if they can help me out for free, right? So of course, I will assume that they will have a paid offer, right? But if I'm just like tasting how it would be to work with them and they actually help me, then I would be open to consider even like hiring them after that, right? By the way, one of my first consulting clients, right, where I offered like consulting services as a web designer, I did this strategy. And at the end of the call, the person was like, I asked them like, do you have any other questions for me before we wrap up? He was like, yeah, I mean, why are you offering this for free? Like, to me, this was really valuable. And I was like, yeah, I just wanted to get to know you and see if there was anything that I could help you with. I do charge for this consultation call, so if you want more of this, you know, we could set up a new one. It's gonna be this amount of money. And he actually paid for like, I think like 5 consultation calls after that. And he also, after like several consultation calls, he told me that he wanted to start a redesign of his website. At the time, I wasn't taking freelance web design projects, so I referred someone else that could do it. But he was a high ticket client that I would have been glad working for, and I could have gotten the job. You know, you cannot imagine how much this guy trusted me, from being a complete stranger to being like almost a client. So it's crazy how you can, with one conversation, if you can help them answer the questions, help them get clarity in terms of where they are, where they want to be, what's the gap they're trying to bridge, it's incredible how much trust you build. And then on the call, you know, you can transition to a sales call. To do that, first you need to determine that there's a fit, right? You need to understand, after all the questions that you asked, if there's a good fit for you to help them. Maybe they are very early on in their journey, and you can, you know, suggest that they start with a Squarespace template or whatever. But if there's a good need for them to invest in your services, then, and it's a match made in heaven, then what you can do is just ask an open-ended question. Like, for example, do you have any questions for me before we wrap up? And if there's a need, most clients, you know, after seeing the value, after, you know, starting to trust you, they will be open to ask you, like, well, would you help me with this website, right? And then you can just basically segue into a sales call. You can explain them, this is what I do, here's how it works, and this is the price, and you can just discuss the possibility of working together on that same call if you want. And then you can suggest otherwise a follow-up call. So basically you can propose a future call so that you can start building your pipeline of clients who maybe are not interested or ready to invest in your services today, but they might be ready 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 1 year, okay? So it doesn't matter. The thing is, you're building trust with them, they know you, they talked with you one-to-one, and it's very likely that down the line, when they are ready to invest, they will think of you first. So what you want to do is just schedule a follow-up call so that you have a time in the calendar, you don't leave a loose end, and you make sure that you start building a pipeline of interested clients. So the key here is that you're basically building a foundation for a relationship. After multiple calls like this, you'll start seeing patterns in your clients' needs and motivations, and this allows you to refine your approach and your content based on what truly resonates with your audience. So here's 5 mindsets for effective, authentic outreach. First off, put yourself in their shoes. So craft a message you genuinely respond to. Do to others as you would have them do to you. Number 2 is focus on relationships, not just numbers. Your end goal is to build trust, not just checkboxes, okay? Number 3 is be a scientist. So learn and adjust rather than aiming for perfection. Don't try to build the perfect message. Instead, what you want to do is try several approaches to see which one yields the best results. Now, in this case, you do want to measure the results, but you don't want that to be the only focus, right? So that's why I mentioned first that you want to focus on building trust. That's really the end goal. Number 4 is don't take rejection personally. Not every outreach will lead to a yes, and that's totally okay. Rejection is often about timing, it's about needs or priorities, not necessarily a reflection on you. Sometimes people just read a message and they forget to respond, but they really wanted to respond, right? So don't take, rejection or crickets as a reflection on you. And number 5 is stay persistent. Think long term. Even though your goal is to sell today, to get to 10K websites and find 10K clients takes time, takes skills, and you need time to build those skills. It's a process. So give yourself time and think long term. Don't just focus on money, money, money. Of course, money is very important and you need it, but don't get discouraged if you don't see immediate results. This is not something that takes, 1 month to master. Last but not least, I want to talk about A/B testing for best results. So what I really suggest you to do is to try 3 different message versions. One with a longer value proposition like the one I showed you, then a shorter version of that same message, and then a conversational genuine opener. So a conversational message could basically just be a question. When you're asking questions, one last tip is don't ask questions again about revenue or something very personal. Try to ask questions about something that you would be open to respond to if a stranger reached out to you. And then last but not least, refine and double down on the messages that worked the best. So if from out of those 3 messages, you got one more response, you tried it with 10 people, each one, right? And you got 2 responses with one, and then with the other 2, you got 1 response. Double down on the message that worked best, even if it's just a small number, like 2 instead of 1 messages, because that's gonna help you, maximize your efforts and refine, right? And then you can A/B test little words and sentences inside that message to keep refining it. Effective outreach isn't about blasting thousands of messages. It's about building quality, authentic connections with people who see the value in what you offer and trust you to help them. If you're ready to take your outreach to the next level and want higher level feedback on crafting messages that resonate, apply to join the BONT Club today. It's my signature mentorship program and niche community for freelance web designers, where you'll get expert guidance on relationship-focused strategies that bring in high-quality web design clients. Link below. Leave your questions in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, let's bridge the gap 1 pixel at a time.